How are you? Today I am dressed appropriately. As you can see, I have my Spider-Man shirt on, so I thought, what a great time. Let's go through the Spider-Man box, which happens to not be labeled, but trust me, it's all beautiful, wonderful, amazing Spider-Man comics. So let's dig in. So this is Spider-Man 114. This is right around the time that Jerry Conway started to write Spider-Man comics. And this one is in sadly very bad shape, but still, it's a pretty cool issue. Doc Ock and
You mean these lines
Hammerhead
through it, or are those
Yeah.
supposed to be webs?
Those are wet. That's just bullet shots. But this on the side is just lots of damage. And of course, it's a black cover, so it really shows the damage. But now, this is Spider-Man 126, the first appearance of the kangaroo, which is in really good shape, unfortunately, except for this kind of stuff around the edges. So it always helps to look at the whole book. The top looks really nice. But So here's 128. Shocking Shadow of the Vulture, the one that has this damage at the bottom. A little bit of water damage. This is a milestone edition of Spider-Man 129, the first appearance of the Punisher. Great issue. And here's an actual copy of 130. Hammerhead.
What do you mean an actual copy?
Not a reprint. I mean, because the 129 was a reprint. So yeah, there's the Jackal, who turned out to be a very important character in Spider-Man's history. And of course, the Spider-Mobile, which had some entertaining stories for a guy who didn't even know how to drive, but funny stuff. Spider-Man 152, it's an appearance of the Shocker.
Not to be confused with Electro, I guess.
Nah, different guy. Amazing Spider-Man. That's 154. Wow, that's in pretty good shape. This is with the Sandman, so that one's pretty good. 155. Ooh, 161. Check that out. An early appearance of Nightcrawler and the X-Men. And of course the Punisher's in there too, so.
Is that what that says? And if that
isn't enough trouble, the Punisher is gunning for Spidey too. So, there's a second issue that 162 is the follow-up, and I don't have a copy of that here. It's a two-parter, but still. 165, Stegron, Dinosaur Man. And the Lizard also appears, and there's the Lizard coming at Spidey in 166. Another 166. This is Will-O-the-Wisp. I believe this is the first appearance of Will-O-the-Wisp, but that's kind of an interesting issue. 169.
Is Will-O-the-Wisp a fire-based villain?
He kind of can phase in and out of objects, and if he's able to connect with an electrical source, he can transfer that electricity into his enemies. It's kind of an interesting character, but this is Nova. This is an early appearance, not the debut of Nova, but it's an early appearance. This was actually a crossover, I believe, with Nova issue 12. There's another copy of that. Spider-Man 172, the Rocket Racer. one of Spider-Man's more comical foes, but not as comical as Big Wheel, which also appeared later. This was a great series, or a great two-part story of Molten Man, and he turns out he's Liz Allen. That's Liz Allen there. He's Liz Allen's brother, which I think they had established elsewhere, but he's kind of fighting Spider-Man, and at the same time, you know, he's just trying to find a cure for his condition. But anyway, here it is, the Punisher again, and the Hitman is I think this may be the first appearance of the Hitman, and if not, then it was in a Peter Parker issue, which isn't here, so we'll get to that later. And this is a 5-issue series that starts. It features the Green Goblin, which everybody thought he was dead, right? Well, apparently there he is. 179.
No one's ever dead in comic books.
Yeah, it does seem that way now. This is 181. They call this an album issue, which is basically just a deadline issue where they go over past events in Spider-Man's life because they ran out of time in the month and they just had to cobble something together. And here's Rocket Racer again. And there's the aforementioned Big Wheel. Great stuff. This is around the time that the TV show came out, so they say Marvel's TV sensation. White Dragon, Red Death. Spider-Man's in college now. Here's where Spider-Man doesn't graduate college because he's missing a gym credit, which is a rather humorous story. 186 features a chameleon. Spider-Man Captain America versus Electro. That's not bad. Looks pretty good shape-wise. Here's 188. This is 190, which features the Man-Wolf, who is J. Jonah Jameson's son. And here's that unfortunate water damage on this issue.
Oh, yeah, that is water damage.
There's 191, Spider Slayer. 192, where Spider-Man and J. Jonah Jameson are locked together with a bomb. That, of course, they got out of it, but it's an exciting story anyway. There's a reprint of the first appearance of the Black Cat, Spider-Man 194, which I don't have the original, but I do have the second 195. Which is
Marvel's response to Catwoman?
more or less, but she's kind of a cat burglar, and I think...
So, yes.
yeah, I mean, I guess. There's Spider-Man 196, which is the beginning of a series of Spider-Man that leads to issue 200, which actually later became the inspiration for Kevin Smith's Daredevil run when he wrote the first 8 issues of Daredevil. So there's Kingpin. The Kingpin has 24 hours, according to his wife, to finish up his crime business or she'll leave him forever. So one of the things he tries to do is to kill Spider-Man. Shock! He was not successful. There's 198 featuring Mysterio. 199 with Mysterio.
Mysterio.
Yeah, and there's 200.
That must be why they decided to introduce Mysterio in the context of Spider-Man in the MCU.
Could be. 202 featuring the Punisher. 203 featuring Dazzler. Here's it depends on how you look at it. 194 and 185 are the first appearance of Black Cat, but 204 is either the second or the third appearance of the Black Cat because she did appear in both 194, 195. Here's 205, which again could be argued to be the third or fourth appearance of the Black Cat. I mean, I'm gonna the second. I'm gonna call it the second appearance of the Black Cat because it's a two-part story. But 209, a Craven appearance with Calypso. I believe this is Calypso's debut. So I got a couple of copies of that. Here's 214, Spider-Man and Submariner fight the Frightful Four. And here's 215, which is the final issue of that. It was 213, 214, 215 with great art by John Romita Jr. Unfortunately, I have 2 copies of 215 that are not in great shape. That's a nice one. 216.
What's the sticky note on it?
It's a price. 216. This is a second appearance of Madam Web.
Was that the original price, or?
That's just the price that I got when I bought the issue from a dealer. 217, Hydro Man and Sandman. 218, Hydro Man, Sandman. 219, 220 featuring Moon Knight. 221 with this guy Ramrod. 222 with I forget what that guy's name is, the Wizard or something like that. 223, I believe this is the first issue in the Roger Stern, John Romita Jr. era, which is just one of the best of the Spider-Man runs. Really great stuff. There's his take on the Vulture. Here's Fool Killer. And here's the Black Cat returns for either her for her third appearance, what I would consider her third appearance. And this is where they start to turn her into more of a possible paramour or lover for Spider-Man.
Oh, she's really becoming Catwoman.
Yeah, and they explore that concept more in Peter Parker Spectacular Spider-Man, but they did touch on it in here. This is a great series. Issues.
Oh, Peter Parker Spectacular Spider-Man is a different series.
Yeah, it's a different title. Yeah, so here's Spider-Man versus Cobra, and then Spider-Man versus Cobra and Hyde, who's usually a Daredevil villain. This is Spider-Man against Tarantula.
Does Daredevil appear, or is it just like
No, it's just those two guys appear in Spider-Man's book. Here's Spider-Man with Will-O-the-Wisp, who returns. And 235 is Will-O-the-Wisp, and then Tarantula's turned into this weird creature somehow in the story. But I won't say. You have to buy it and then read it yourself. So.
Oh, the deadly new Tarantula.
Yeah. 236, more of the transformed Tarantula.
Death Knell.
Yes. Death Knell, featuring the dramatic resolution to the Wisp Tarantula brand epic. And Brand is like the Brand Corporation. Eagle-eyed viewers in the Marvel Universe may have seen a short called On the Way to I forget, it was On the Way to Thor's Hammer.
A funny thing happened on the way to Thor's Hammer,
and Coulson appeared, and then he went to tank up on his car, and he took the gas nozzle out, and it was Roxxon Oil was the provider of the gas. Roxxon and Brand were actually two, like, the big conglomerate villain companies in the Marvel Universe. So they mentioned Brand there. That was what they were at the time. I think they might be the one and the same, but I'm not sure about that. Here's Stiltman, who's usually a Daredevil enemy. But still, Roger Stern just did a great job of mixing things up for Spider-Man. So here's another Vulture appearance, 240. So, as you can see, this just goes from the early 100s to Spider-Man 240, and I have plenty of Spider-Man issues in the 240 and beyond, and I'll do those later. And they, 300s, 400s, I have plenty of those. So I have a lot of Amazing Spider-Mans. If you are interested in Amazing Spider-Man, by all means, please check this video.
Oh, you're even specifically wearing the image. Which
This is the cover of Amazing Spider-Man 40.
oh yeah, I see it. 40, and then it says September below it.
Yeah, so that's how much I'm dedicated to Amazing Spider-Man in this video. But, if you're interested in any of the issues you saw, or
You're committed to it.
Yeah, possibly any issues in the future after 240, please let me know, and I will cover them in other videos. And I also do have lots of Amazing Spider-Man issues listed on eBay already. So if you check out my page, you can get some there. So again, as always, thank you for paying attention, and let me know of any feedback you might have. Either leave a comment or contact me via eBay Messenger. Thank you very much. So long.